Westbrook Health Services has been supporting the surrounding community since 1949 and is known as an agency that is community-focused, people-driven. As one of West Virginia's 13 comprehensive behavioral health centers, Westbrook provides services to 8 counties throughout the Mountaineer State and became one of the first comprehensive community behavioral health clinics in West Virginia in 2020. This podcast wouldn't be possible without the generous help of the Sisters Health Foundation. This year marks 25 years since the foundation awarded its first grant, and we couldn't be more grateful for their support. Welcome to Studio 2121.
So, Liz.
Yes.
Here we are.
I know.
But let me introduce us.
Okay.
Hello and welcome back. We are here with the next installment of Spill the Tea with Liz and me.
I'm Liz.
And I'm me. And you may be wondering why we've brought some things with us today. I am displaying a talent that I have, which is crochet. And Liz, what do you have there?
I'm here for the swimsuit portion of the interview.
Yes.
That might indicate
talent, swimsuit.
That, and you might see a crown there. Yes.
Oh, the crown.
The crown.
So we're interviewing a very special guest today.
I never,
a very special
1
guest.
billion years, ever thought I would be interviewing. I won't say the person. The person is user friendly. The person is super fun.
Right.
I could fangirl.
Down to earth.
But her title is something.
Did you know I was one of the people that interviewed her for this job?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I might have heard about it. And did you want to hire her?
No, I was thinking to myself, I'm going to just be really honest because I know that you will not tell anyone.
No, I won't tell anyone.
I was thinking to myself, a beauty queen at Westbrook, how do those two things work together?
Yeah.
And I just had in my mind, this is not going to work out. And then we interviewed her and I was like, my God, we've got to hire her.
Yeah.
So we did. But I can't take full responsibility.
Right.
No, I can't.
You know who did it?
Who?
Stanley Lukaszowicz.
He did. You're right. He hires all the good people.
Yeah. When I caught word of her, and I heard about her previous
but there's
title.
Another title now.
There's
but anyway,
a new title.
Okay.
But
yes.
I heard about the old title, and I was like, there's got to be something off here.
I know.
And then I Googled her. And
wait, what? You Googled her? Is that like a cyber stalking thing?
No, I don't. There was no intent to harm.
Okay.
But I Googled
Is that
her.
Is that one of the components that equals stalking is intent to harm?
No, in my book.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Otherwise, a stakeout.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
mean, you were looking out for the agency. You wanted to know who was working.
Right.
Okay. Yes.
But then I saw who it was,
and
I thought Megan Fox is working for us.
Really?
Yeah. It's just not your average bear. But aside from that, aside from the outside, her innards are astounding.
Yeah. I mean, the truth is, we're not interviewing her today because she's beautiful. That just happens to be secondary.
Yeah.
We're interviewing her today because she has a very special platform that fits right in with our mission.
Yes.
Related to suicide prevention.
Yes.
But first, we had to put it out there. It's going to be so obvious when she sits down.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why I brought my talent.
And I brought my swimsuit because we're hoping that maybe we'll get to wear a sash and crown. Are you ready for her?
I'm ready for her. Are you ready for her?
I am ready without further ado. Here she is.
So, with no further ado, our special guest today, Chelsea Rose, Miss for America Strong.
That's right, Mom. You said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it. Yes.
What did your mom say you weren't going to do?
She said, you are not. I said, yes, I am.
You are. She was wrong. I brought some talent.
It's beautiful talent.
Thank you.
I got rid of my cap.
That's okay.
I was afraid I would fidget with it and then put it on, and then you'd have to, just cut out. Just cut out early. Yeah.
So,
what do you got here?
A little bit of shiny hardware.
I love it. Mm-hmm. It is heavier than you think. Mm-hmm. But that being said, with the recent demise of our queen, not our queen, their queen, the world's queen, I saw her, that was like 35 pounds, I think.
What? How much does yours weigh?
About a couple pounds,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
It's not
On
light.
your
It leaves
head.
a dent in my head when I wear it for too long.
Yes. So.
But you're not here. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you tell us, as West Virginians, we like to know why you're here. Once we know why you're here, we accept you. Why are you here? Because you're not from here.
I'm not from here.
Yeah.
How'd you end up here?
How'd you get
Or
here?
why here? What do you love about West Virginia?
Yeah.
Well, I love West Virginia for a multitude of reasons. I was brought here there was somebody that lived here that I had gotten into a relationship with, and
Okay.
unfortunately that didn't work out. That
Yeah.
Not all of them do. But I stayed because of the people, and I stayed because I love West Virginia
Yes.
so much. It's a beautiful state. The people are even better. I grew up in Colorado. Here's a funny example. In Colorado, if you get a flat tire or something on the side of the road, people are flipping you off or trying to get past.
Really?
Like nobody's helpful. And a few months ago I got a flat tire, and before I could even pick up the phone to dial, some help, I had 4 people stop me.
Yes.
Hey, how can I help you? And that just in itself encompasses West Virginia. Everybody here is just ready to help one another, and I love that.
You have
Very
been
true.
speaking about West Virginia like.
She owns it, right?
Yeah.
She owns West Virginia, like as if she were born and raised
Yes.
here.
Yes.
I'm very proud. Yeah,
Very
I am
proud.
very proud.
Yeah.
I
love
say my
it.
roots are in Colorado, but my home is West Virginia. So
And then you won Miss West Virginia.
I did in March.
Okay.
Yep, down in
And-
Charleston.
How planned was that? Was that intentional? Was that really intentional?
The last pageant I'd competed in was in 2018. I won Miss West Virginia United States, and I went to Miss United States in 2018, and after I placed top 5 at Miss United States, and I was like, you know what, that's a great place for me to kind of end this. I've got a career building,
You got
I've got
on
all
top.
kinds of, exactly. I was like, this is a great place for me to end. And then a lot of things happened in my life the past year, and I kind of looked at myself. I looked at my mom. I was like, what am I doing with my life? I was like, this is an opportunity for me to really, make a difference, and
Yeah.
I think that was the motivating factor to compete. I think I signed up maybe a month before the state
What?
pageant.
A month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just kind of last minute, kind of throwing things together. My mom and I were kind of just throwing things together as we could, as fast as we could, and it turned out to be that it was my time to win Miss West
Springboard.
Virginia.
Yeah.
And then I
For
went
much bigger things.
yeah, Miss for America was insane. I mean, it was 2 weeks in Vegas, which was a really long time to be in Las Vegas, but it was amazing. I was competing with 48 other women from across the United States in my category, the Miss category. So,
Right.
yeah.
So did you make some lifelong friends? you
Oh,
think?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Miss Minnesota, Shelby, she's actually going to come with me in December to the Mrs. World pageant to watch. She's going to come with me, and I've got a bunch of other friends that we talk almost every day. We have a big group chat of a bunch of us.
I'm going to
that still
pause right
talk.
there. I didn't know she was going there, so I know.
No, this is the first we're hearing about, but she's a world traveler. You know
Right.
that, right? She's a jet setter.
Yeah.
Yes.
A jet
Fashion
setter.
Week and whatnot. So where is it?
It's in Las Vegas.
Okay, and
Yes.
so world or what?
So it's Mrs. World. So I am done competing at my level. So
Okay.
the Miss division, Miss for America is the top. But for the Mrs. America winner, she gets to go on and compete for Mrs. World. So there's women from all over the world that are coming to compete in Vegas in December. And
It's
they
Vegas.
asked me exactly. And they asked me to come down and be, a part of it and help out where I can and just kind of attend. And I'm excited.
That's
It'll be a lot of
amazing.
It sounds like fun.
That's amazing.
But a very important part that ties you into the Westbrook mission, which I feel like you were already tied into the mission, because how can you be at Westbrook and not fall in love with the mission and feel very purposeful about it?
But I
absolutely.
had to ask in the beginning, why did she choose?
Oh yeah, well that's a
Westbrook.
good question. Why Westbrook? Then we'll move on.
Yeah, I've always had a passion, I think, for helping others. Growing up, I was very involved in a lot of volunteer service, and I was able to start a nonprofit when I was younger. It's called Chelsea's Choice, and it was it was through Compassion International, so we would sponsor children worldwide, for food, education, clothing
Did
for
you
their
know
families.
No, I
that
didn't.
Oh
know.
my
I didn't
gosh.
know that.
So that was something that I was...
watched
Do you have other wonderful things about you? Or are you just going to reveal them like little nuggets here and there?
I watched Beverly Hills 90210. That's what I did in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person that kind of, likes to talk about myself, but I am, I have done a lot.
She's been very uncomfortable about coming here.
You think?
Yeah.
But no, so this has always kind of been a part of my life, is helping others. And the minute that the job came up at Westbrook, I was kind of at a point in my life where I was looking for something a little bit more meaningful, a little bit more purpose, and it was the right place, right time kind of thing. Kind of all fell into place when it should have.
And then you met some of us, and how could
I
the
know.
rest is
It's
history.
my family.
But
yeah.
as a side note, as we were talking about this, we feel like it was divine intervention.
We said that.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because of, well, and we're going to get into that, but just because you needed to be where you were for the last year, I think.
110%.
Yeah.
I talk about that to my mom all the time. She's always like, I'm so thankful that you had that job when you did. And I said, absolutely. I said, I don't know if there's a way that I would have survived this past year if it weren't for Westbrook, and I truly mean that.
Yeah.
Well, probably a lot of people can say that at any given time, but that's why a lot of us stay. But the tie-in really is your platform.
Yeah.
Two worlds came together
Perfectly.
Just perfectly.
Yes.
Everything happens for a reason.
And your platform is?
Suicide prevention and awareness. So I was hired on at Westbrook August of last year, and I ended up losing my father to suicide in September of last year.
Oh, it was that quick after you came.
Yeah, it was only a couple months after, and it was rough. I mean, it still is rough. Last week was the year anniversary of his passing, so.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
That's so hard.
It is hard. And the first few months especially were very hard. I ended up packing up my mom, my grandma, and sister and moving them to West Virginia with me.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. I packed up a trailer and a truck and drove them across the country 22 hours and said, here's your new home.
Oh, 22 hours. Here's your new home.
Yeah.
I was fairly sure you were not coming back. And
A lot of people said that.
We discussed it. We're like, do you think she's coming back?
And
how can she come back?
That's when I saw the passion for West Virginia. She just kept saying how much she loved West Virginia.
Mm-hmm. My mom is in love with it here. She's made some amazing friends.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's got a good circle. She goes to church, with her friends, and it's been really good for her. My grandma's the same way. My sister loves her job. She works at the Holiday Inn over in Mineral Wells.
Okay.
Everyone's doing really well here. So,
well, I'm
like I
glad.
said, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what have you been able to do? Bring awareness. What have you been able to do?
So I've done a lot of work with Barry at Prevent Suicide West Virginia. I've been in Michelle. She does the Brother Up Foundation. So they're both very, very...
What is that?
I believe Michelle lost her brother to suicide. Michelle Toman.
Brother Up. Okay.
Yes. And so she does a lot of work with suicide prevention and awareness and resources. And they go into schools and they work together on a regular basis. And they do a lot of trainings in the area too for teachers and whoever else might need it. But I've been able to work with them on a lot of different levels. I went to the state basketball championship and was able to help out with them at the table and whatnot. We've got the Out of the Darkness walk coming up, so
yes,
yeah, that'll be huge.
You have a team. You're leading a team.
Mm-hmm. And
so what happens with that?
So it's a walk for awareness of suicide. It's to honor those that we've lost or those that are struggling, and they have a whole collection of bead colors that kind of represent different things, whether you've lost a spouse or a parent or you're struggling yourself or you've attempted something along those lines, and they actually asked me they do a bead ceremony where they pour the same color of sand into a jar, and they asked me to do the gold in honor of my father this year for losing a parent. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when we planned this interview, I told you were not allowed to make me cry, and you might make me cry, but I feel compelled. We didn't tell you what we were going to ask because, quite honestly, I didn't know. I didn't really know.
Yeah. We like to come into this organically and just...
It's better that way.
But...
Can I just pause you for a second?
Sure.
Is that heavy on your shoulder or anything?
You want to try it on?
Yeah, I do.
We got to make sure someone takes a picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this. Let's see.
Okay, I want to make sure I put it on right. Okay.
Do you know how to put it on? Have you ever
Well, the letters have to be... That's right, Mom.
Look at that.
I feel good.
Should I hold this over your head and see?
I look so good.
You do. I don't think I'm allowed to... Wait.
Yeah.
I feel like Amy Farrah Fowler right now.
That's awesome.
I love it. Okay, I'm leaving this on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I lost both of my parents to natural causes. They both died of cancer, different types of cancer, really, sort of, anyway. And I know, I mean, it's been 5 years since I lost my dad, and I still periodically, I miss him a lot, and I think he was very sick for a number of years, and so, that there's a certain piece of the mourning process. I mean, not everybody says you're never really prepared, but it wasn't it was unexpected, but not unexpected. You know what I mean? And this was very different. I'm assuming you didn't expect this at all.
Nobody did.
Yeah.
I have 2 older brothers and an older sister, and we all grew up in a very large, very close, tight-knit family. All holidays, everything. Sundays we spent together on the back porch, and my dad was a huge part of that, and he's, to this day, still a very big part of that connection. Even though he's not here, he still, keeps us together. And no, it was
Where are the older brothers?
They're in Colorado.
Okay.
Yep. So they're both married.
Have they ventured out?
They haven't come out here yet.
I'm
no.
afraid they're going to stay.
I know they
Just
might.
come for a visit.
Is there room in your house?
Just a quick
yeah.
visit.
Mhm.
Just a quick visit.
Yeah, they can come visit anytime they want. I'd like to get them out for the holidays. But,
Oh, that would be good.
yeah, but it was very unexpected, and nobody really knew how to process any of it. And I still, honestly, to this day, don't know if I've fully even started processing anything. I think I've still been in very much a fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trying to take care of everybody else and getting everybody else on their own feet, and I just kind of been pushing all of that down.
I have a very similar coping style. It works really well. I mean, it's unfortunate you shouldn't, but I did notice that about you. I mean, you really have been. I mean, you packed your entire family up and moved them here. But I think, I think that so often people suffer in silence, and then they complete suicide, and you're like, where did that come from? You didn't, sometimes people will say, I didn't know, I didn't see it,
Yeah, and I think a lot of this, my dad was in law enforcement for 26 years, and he's seen a lot in his time.
Yeah.
And
that he didn't talk about.
Exactly, that he didn't have a place to talk about. And he was actually very, a large factor of, they hired on a full-time psychologist at the department in Estes to help specifically with the police department and the officers kind of cope with some of those things that they're seeing. And that was, you could kind of tell that he probably needed that more than anyone, looking back, absolutely. But, that's something that I'd really like to get involved in a little bit more is, especially on the law enforcement side. These people are here to help us and protect us, and nobody is protecting them, especially their mental health.
And no one should have to see some of the things that...
No.
No,
And like you said, there is really very limited ways to process that, because you can't bring it home to your family. You don't want to bring it home to your family, and you can't.
You don't want it in your head, let alone someone else's head.
Yeah. So a lot of that's spent coping by yourself, and I think that that's probably a skill that I've picked up from my dad, is coping with all of this by myself. But, we're making it. I've got a strong support system, so we're making it through.
Well, we haven't even mentioned it.
Yeah.
What else I think is really interesting is what you do. I mean, I know your plate is full, but what you do in your free time. Chelsea is not playing hopscotch.
No, she's not.
No. She
hunts big animals
large
with bows.
Large animals.
Not only hunts them, she actually successfully hunts them.
Yeah, and then they end up on her wall. Yes.
And in the freezer.
One, the big one that was in your office.
The elk. Yeah.
It was an
elk.
Do you have any idea how much that elk weighed that you killed with a bow? I mean, I don't know anything about hunting, but I assume that hunting with a bow is significantly harder than hunting with a gun. I don't know.
It is. I mean, your maximum range with a bow ethically is probably about 50, 60 yards. And for me, I'd say probably 40 or 50. And with a rifle, you can get out there.
Because you do use gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't use like a little teeny tiny. No. You've got like.
It's got to be ethical. You've got to make sure that you're using a rifle with a caliber that's going to take down that animal in one shot. You want it to be
suffer.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, do you know about how much that elk weighed?
I think it was probably. Don't quote me on this, but I'd say probably somewhere around 600 or 700 pounds.
I think I'm gonna quote her on that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm putting it in the journal.
Yeah.
That will be published. And she said.
Yeah.
600 or 700 pounds. That's what she said.
Mm-hmm. And then you got to pack all that out too.
Because you're out in the field.
It's not like you can just drive a truck out there and.
Did you eat that elk?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait a minute. When you say pack that, did you carry that out on a backpack?
A big group of us did, but yeah.
Whew.
Yep.
That's one of those. I didn't think through the whole thing.
So let me ask you, a big group of you, did anyone else kill a buck? I mean, an elk?
That week there's, 4 or 5 of us in camp, and all of us tagged out, so yeah.
But not on the same day.
No.
Which is good, I guess, because that would have been way too much.
Do you stop? Everyone's like, we got one, and then everyone carries it back?
It depends. It kind of just depends where everyone else is at in their hunt. Like,
Okay.
if they're too far back, then obviously they can't come help. But you are with a guide, and your
Okay.
guide will help you.
Okay.
And then there's other guides that'll come and help too.
Okay.
But I was very determined to do as much as I possibly could for myself. I
Yeah.
didn't want to go out there and shoot an animal and then just be
You
a little
have to clean
priss.
it?
And
Do you clean it?
I didn't know.
Okay.
But
There are limits
yes.
to your
But
outdoorsiness.
but I have, fully harvested and cleaned and put a deer in the freezer by myself. So
Never thought this would ever be
that
a
was a
discussion
goal of mine
here.
a couple years ago, and it happened. And that was something that we turned most of it into jerky, but a lot of steaks and some burgers. Processed the whole thing myself, which was a big deal.
Wow.
For me.
How do you even do that? Is there a YouTube video?
There's a knife and YouTube, yeah.
There's a lot of learning curves, but YouTube was probably my best friend through that. But now I can say that I know how to process it here.
So what other things do we not know
Yeah.
about you? Like, do you
Yeah.
have other talents that you
Yeah,
haven't
what are your
shared?
talents?
I mean,
What was your talent? Did they have a talent portion?
Well, not in this competition. It's not required. But when I was competing,
What is required for this?
So it's interviews 50% of your score.
Okay.
And then you have evening gown, and then swimsuit, and then you have your on-stage questions.
Okay.
So like your on-stage interview. But no,
And-
whenever I was growing up, I was a competitive dancer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I studied with the Colorado Ballet for a few years, and so I would do my
Your
favorite.
hair is happy to be down, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Not, and it's super tight bun.
Yeah. I'm a
Um,
huge fan of toe shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last couple years I was competing, I did a routine on point, but it was the Scarecrow from the Wizard of Oz, so it was a different take.
Oh.
It was really cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was, but swimsuit, I followed her all through
Yeah.
Las Vegas. Evening gown was,
Thank
every
you.
day you were,
Thank you.
there was some preparation there.
Yes.
There were no Birkenstocks. Your
There were
feet
no
were crying.
Birkenstocks.
the
They
entire-
but
were-
did you mention this already? No, you said it to me. But on any given day, I mean, you're dressed up today because we're interviewing you. She dressed up specially for
Yeah,
us.
she
Well, of course.
But otherwise, you're pretty just a casual, laid-back girl.
Yeah.
I really think Birkenstock needs to sponsor you.
I'm serious, right?
Yeah.
No, as a single mom, you
I
only
wore my
get...
Birks in honor of you. Yeah, they're heels,
Ooh,
but they're
those
yeah,
are cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as a single mom, you only get so much time in a day to get ready, and then working full time.
And your daughter is everything. I mean, your
Yes.
family's everything, but she's
Yes,
like a
she is.
subcategory of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she takes precedence. She's always looking
Now-
cute, though.
I bet you she feels very substandard because she doesn't have a title.
Actually, she does.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It runs in the family. What? What is her
what-
title?
So last year she was World's Perfect Baby. So
That's
she went to
right.
Florida and won World's Perfect Baby. But a few weeks ago, what was it? Maybe it was a couple months ago. She won Tiny Miss Parkersburg.
Tiny.
Yes, Tiny Miss
What
Parkersburg.
are the benefits to pageantry?
I think probably the biggest benefit that I've, kind of gotten on my tool belt is my interview skills and my, abilities to be able to communicate with a number of audiences, whether it's kids, adults, whatever.
Which will serve you well with your
Yeah.
platform. People will listen, and
Yeah.
that's important. You're
It
trying to
is.
get awareness out there. You want
And,
people to hear what
yeah.
you have to say.
And a lot, there is such a stigma around pageantry, and that people just consider you to be like a stereotypical pageant girl, but
We never did that.
but
no, we didn't.
Yeah.
No.
No.
But I mean, in all honesty, you can definitely, the girls that are really committed to it and really focused, you can pick them out of a crowd because they are ready to succeed in whatever avenue they go. I can remember I was 15 in high school, and a restaurant had just opened up in my hometown, and they were starting to hire. It was like a little sports bar that had big TVs, and it was kind of a big deal for our town because we hadn't had anything like that. It was kind of like a Buffalo Wild Wings, but local. And they had a hiring process going on, and most of it was college kids or older that were going through this process.
I'm watching the movie.
Yeah.
She's gonna nail it.
And so, but my mom was like, I think you should interview. I think, if you just, because I wanted to be a hostess for the place, And I was like, okay. So when they went into the interview process, they said, okay, there's a bunch of you. Give us about 2 weeks. We'll get back to you whether you've got the job or not. No big deal. And I was like, okay, sounds good. So I went in, did my interview, whatnot. And they said, well, I'm really not supposed to do this,
There we
but
go.
we'd like to go ahead and offer you the position. As a 15-year-old out interviewing all those college kids and older,
Yeah.
and that in itself shows how much
Did that
pageantry.
speak to you?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And that just, that's a testament of, why I do what I do. And I do help as many girls as I can that are wanting to get into pageantry because it has made such a big impact. And the scholarships.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
it paid for you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh.
For the most part, I went to a private Jesuit university out in Colorado, And when I was Miss Colorado High School, I was awarded, it was $25,000 a year for 4 years, so that's a $100,000 scholarship that I won.
Yeah.
And then plus all the other, I mean, I got my first college scholarship when I was 6.
What?
Yeah. Yeah,
I was watching the
What?
Flintstones.
I did.
Did you know what college was when you were 6?
I didn't, but my parents did. And honestly, it took me a very long time to convince my parents to let me
I
compete.
remember hearing
They
this
were-
story.
yeah,
Have
They
you
were
heard
Tell the
very
story,
anti.
tell the story.
They were so anti. My mom, because growing up in Colorado, you know, John Benet Ramsey was a huge
Oh,
part
yeah.
of that.
And you know
Yeah.
she's big here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So there's a huge connection there, but you know, everybody in Colorado's like, oh, pageantry. You don't want to be another John Benet Ramsey.
Right.
And so the way before social media was a thing, the way that pageants would recruit is they would send letters to all the participants at dance studios or cheer gyms or, you know, something
Yeah.
like that. And since I was a dancer, I would get letters in the mail, and my mom was really good about grabbing them before I could see them and throwing them out. But one of them slipped through. I was like, Mom, it's a letter. It's addressed to me. Please, please, I got to do this. And my mom and dad talked about it, and they were like, no, absolutely not. You're not doing this, whatever. And so finally my dad was like, just let her do it. She'll hate it. She'll never want to do it again.
Let it burn out on
Yeah,
its own.
it's fine. Well, I ended up winning that pageant.
Yeah.
So, and there was, I think, probably 50 or 60 other girls in that competition with me, and I was addicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you able to pocket any
It's
of the
hard
money?
work, though.
Yeah.
It is a lot of hard
Well,
work.
we've seen the other side to it.
Yeah.
She's a little uncomfortable at times. I know a lot of it went into scholarship. Did you ever pocket any of the money, or did you get some goodies?
And there's a lot of perks that come with it, you know, sponsorships and, you know, wardrobe sponsorships and all hair, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
nails, you know. But for the most part,
Are there
It
any
went-
perks to being friends with Miss for America Strong? Are there any perks with that? Like, do we get any?
You're looking for perks.
Well, it's just, if they're there, I'd be
Yeah.
a fool not to take them.
If they are there.
Do we get a swag bag?
You like promoted this water bottle.
Oh, the water
oh,
bottle.
yes.
There were.
Those are cool.
What are they?
So it's the Tomo bottle.
Oh my
I
God! Did you
should've
see the
brought it.
pictures?
Yeah.
It's got all the little.
Yeah, so they're
sparkles.
gorgeous. They're expensive, but they're gorgeous, and it's cool because the purchase of one of those water bottles goes to provide clean drinking water for kids and families in Africa and India.
Very smart.
Well, just because of that, I feel like I could justify having one.
Yes.
So maybe I'll look into that.
Well, and I have a discount code, so
Wow.
20% off.
What colors do they come in?
Oh yeah,
They just came out with a purple. I know you love purple. That
Purple.
one was
Purple.
just released.
Purple
It's
is my
beautiful.
favorite.
I think I want to order the purple one.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have a teal. They have, you know, like a regular clear. They have black. They have a pink. They have like a cheetah print. There's all kinds of stuff. And they have coffee cups. They have water bottles.
Do you know the code off the top of your head? What is it?
Mrs. America 20.
I love it.
Mrs. America 20. How much
20%
does
off.
that? What?
20% off your purchase.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want to say this has been a complete treat.
Are you trying to end this interview?
I'm
I
gonna
wasn't
end it.
done.
Well, I frankly want to put the crown on and wear it and then run off, and maybe she won't notice. So I don't know.
Close my eyes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your platform. I mean,
course.
it rings with us 100%, but the fact that you're you, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Anyway,
guys for
hey
having
Mom,
me.
I did it. See y'all in the next one.
Bye.